All right, so welcome to the Zombies Eliminations podcast. This is probably going to be a short episode, just to reintroduce myself after that long break. I think the last episode was like in September. What happened was my grandmother-in-law visited us and just got out of the habit of playing games and recording videos. But now here I am again doing this video, working on those books again that I've been working on, including the Banner of the Broken Cross series, which is a fantasy epic that's going to be 13 books. The first book hopefully will come out sometime this year. I'm really disappointed that I wasn't able to release a book this year. I have finished a few books, but never got around to actually pulling the trigger on releasing the books. So hopefully that'll happen soon. Right now, just been going full throttle on everything that I've been doing as far as like educating myself as far as I can and investing in things. So an update on everything is I did open a Robinhood account and started investing in the stock market, so that's been going pretty well. Also, there's services that you can use that will allow you to invest fractionally in mining hardware at like for cryptocurrency mines, for example for Bitcoin, which is what I've been doing. And I feel like recently I've been, for lack of a better word, educated or brainwashed on the fact that I think Bitcoin is pretty much the only asset that has the potential to appreciate over time, in the sense that it's not controlled by anyone. It's decentralized asset and solves a lot of the problems that we're dealing with in the world, and I feel like it's a really positive thing. I used to be a lot more into other cryptocurrencies, but I think Bitcoin is the one-stop shop as far as like how you appreciate wealth in the sense of cryptocurrency. Of course, I do think like it's important to have at least some level of diversification as far as investments are concerned. And the rule of thumb is never to invest like more than 10%. Of course, none of this is investment advice. It's just things I've been doing. But I feel like a lot of people are getting screwed by the current financial system and the way things are now. I do work for a call center, and every time people call in, it's always complaints about like what's happening in their life and how things are going wrong and all that kind of stuff in that regard. So it's a really messed up financial situation that a lot of people are in right now, and I feel like if you're listening to this, you live in the United States, chances are you can relate to this. The one thing I will say that I don't agree with when people do is when they try to control things they have no business controlling. A lot of the regulations regarding a lot of stuff, they're really there to protect the consumer. They're there to make sure that the whoever's in power has more power to control the everyday citizen, like infringements on freedom of speech, even Second Amendment rights, and just the fact that I think it should be way up there with the freedom of speech. Should also be the freedom to make transactions and to send money and to control how you send money and that kind of thing. And a lot of the fundamental understanding of what makes someone a sovereign individual has been stripped away from us. I know like it's been a slippery slope as far as like how far we've gone in that regard, because like with taxes, you get taxed out of your paycheck. You don't even see the paycheck that you get taxed, so it's like the big percentages comes out, which impoverishes a lot of people in my opinion, because like I think the government takes way more taxes than they need to take, and that's a whole nother can of worms there, not to get into politics too much, but these things do affect the everyday people on the street, people who you would encounter in everyday life. As I can tell from working at that call center, every single call is basically someone complaining about money or not having enough money and that kind of stuff. The job itself is good, but like the fact that a lot of people in the country are dealing with this kind of stuff where they're always in danger of going on the streets, I feel like more needs to be done as far as addressing those kind of issues, and it's just something that gives me a lot of anxiety. But moving on to the next topic, also I've been continuously tracking my goals as far as like how far I'm walking, which I've been doing for the past 3 years or so. also, the investments I have, I've been investing more than I ever have, as far as like with safe investments, that kind of stuff. Still using the real estate investment app that I've been using called Landa. And then I've been reading books, including the books that I've read so far: Animal Farm, Lord of the Rings: The Fellowship of the Ring, The Bitcoin Standard, and I'm still reading Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers. So over time, I'm going to write down the names of the books that I read and have a really big list of books, and then hopefully be knowledgeable enough to have intellectual discussions about literature, or not only literature but also other kinds of subjects. For example, even like world events and world history, and any other kind of skill that I might be interested in. So at any given time, I'm going to be reading at least 4 different books. One is a book on a religious topic. The second book will be a fiction book. The third book will be a non-fiction book, which will either be some kind of history thing or some kind of skill or some kind of memoir or something. And then the final book would be a poetry book. So it's going to be a non-fiction book, a fiction book, a poetry book, and a religious book. All at the same time, I'll be reading those, just so if I get bored with one, I can put one down, and then I'll have a complete list of all the books that I'm reading. Right now I'm in the middle of reading a book called The Fiat Standard, which is a sequel to the Bitcoin Standard. And I'm just working on that kind of stuff, and just wanted to give a quick update to people. So I think that's all I had to say. Again, I think I'm going to probably lose access to my website soon, because at least temporarily, because I'm not the website is going to renew for like a lot more money than I can afford. So I gotta find either temporarily go down on the website, or basically wait till a cheaper host gives an option. So that's all I've been thinking about right now. And if there's nothing else that I could think of, again, these podcasts are really off the cuff, which is really kind of the charm of the podcast. My name was All the Stars Are Dead on my channel, and my name's also Joey. But you guys have a safe night. Thank you for listening.